This is the 2017 section B1 and it's the interpenetration question at ordinary level. The figure on the right shows the main stage used in the Glastonbury Music Festival. It consists of a square-based pyramid with the canopy to provide shelter for the performers. Figure B1 shows the elevation and incomplete plan of the structure. Draw the given plan and elevation of the structure. Complete the overhanging portion of the canopy on the left-hand side of the plan. Show all lines of interpenetration and then draw an end view of the structure. So there's 4 different bits to this. The first one, draw the given plan and elevation of the structure. There's a hint given in the question in that it says draw the given plan and elevation. So plan first, they're going to get you to set that up, and then they're going to come along and get you to draw the elevation. Going through the partial elevation of plan. So in other words, this isn't completed. This is the bit of work we have to do. We have to complete the plan view. We've been given an elevation and plan, and we've been given a piece of what the end view is going to look like, or it's a section view of this roof. In other words, this is what that roof is going to look like. We can use this though to set up our plan. So if you notice, I've taken vertical lines. Now I've only done it roughly, but taken these points down and transferred them down onto the bottom of the line. And what that's telling me is that there's 50 millimeters from here to here. This is 100 millimeters wide overall. So in other words, the center of this, all of these are 25 millimeter gaps. So they're all 25 mil apart. I've got a center, a clear center, and I've got 2 points out either side, 2 points out either side. That represents the plan. In other words, I've got a center line. Here is the center of the roof. 2 lines out either side, 25 and 25, and then 2 on the other side, 25, 25. So I can actually set up that in plan without actually having to draw this at all. I've got my height for the elevation, up 45, up 60 gives me the height of both of these lines. And then the edge of it is out 22. So I should be able to go and set that elevation and plan up fairly straightforward. I'm going to do the basic bits, and then I'm going to show you how to set up the more complicated bits. Alright, so I had the basic plan, 100 by 100 set up, join the diagonals. I project up each of my outer points and my center point 90 millimeters high. So we get the partial elevation of that. The canopy is going to stick out 22 mil. So I've just come out 22 mil from the plan, and then I've just projected a construction line straight up. Height of the canopy is up 60 and up 45. So the overall height of the canopy is up 60 to the top and up 45 to the lower piece of it on the roof. The edge of it joins back to the corner up to that 60. And so the shape of my canopy when it's drawn in is there. So I've got the canopy drawn in elevation. I need to set it up in plan. We said in the instruction at the start, you've got this center line here, and it's just out 25 millimeters from each side. So in other words, 25, 25, 25, and 25. So I just set up 25, 50, and here is 75. So it divides them all at 25s, and that gives me the construction lines that I'm looking for. So that was the plan set up. So now I've got the shape of the elevation done, and I've got the plan and these partial lines coming in. The interpenetration is what needs to be done now. Now labeling again is very important. So I'm going to label these points here just on the drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so when I get to my elevation, 1 and 5 are on the bottom. 2 and 4 are this line, so that's line 2, 2. And 4, 4 is in the same position, and then 3, 3 I call it, 3, 3. So that's the line 3, 3 coming in there. This is the center of the roof, the highest point, the apex. So when I come to plan, that line is here. That's going to be 3, 3 coming in. 2 and 4 are either side of it, so I'll go with 2 and 4, and then 1 and 5 are either side of that again, so I'll go 1 and 5. So I've labeled each of my lines in elevation and plan. Now what I can do is start to bring the points down, 3 into plan, 3 into plan, point 2 into plan, point 2 into plan. And that is going to give me my canopy and the points of interpenetration in plan. So I labelled them up as I had them on the drawing there, like I had set up here. Sorry, like I had set up here and here. So I've got them labelled from the drawing here. I'll come along and put them in. So I put 3, 3 on top, 2, 2 was there, and 4, 4 was beside it. And then 1 and 5 were there. In plan, this was 3, 3. This was 2 and 1, and here was 4 and 5. So that's where I had the labels. And I just take the points down to plan. So point 3, when it comes down to plan, is here. The other end of point 3, the other end of the line, is here. So it comes in, hits in plan there. Point 2, this is one side of point 2 when I bring it down. So I bring it down to plan onto my line 2. I get point 2. There's my point. The other end of the line is in here in the roof. And hits there. 4 is the same, so 4 is in the same position. I bring 4 down onto the line. So here's where 4 is in plan. And again, I take 4 down from here. 4 comes down and it hits here in plan. And then 1 and 5, when I bring them down, are in position. So what that gives me is the outline of the roof in plan. So there is the shape of the canopy when I look down in plan. And it also gives me where it hits into the roof. So the shape of the canopy, I'll just draw the canopy for the time being, hitting into the roof. That is the shape of the canopy portion, but the main section of the roof is diagonal. So we highlight in the full diagonals. So it comes into a point, like a pyramid. That is the elevation and plan done, and it shows the interpenetration here between the canopy and the main section of the roof. Next up is the end view. Okay, for the end elevation, again, where the plan and elevation line, so that construction line cuts my XY line, it's where I'm going to start. We set up our 45 that we always set up. So I'll do it with a long broken line, just so it stands out. And we're going to bring the points over. Now, I'm going to draw the main pyramid section first. I'm going to forget about the canopy for the time being. So it's just a matter of taking my points across and up into elevation. So my lines come up and they'll be on the XY line. So that's my two outer points, across to the 45 and up, across to the 45 and up, and they're on the XY line. Center line then, so point at the very, very top of the pyramid, here it is. I brought that across, up into elevation, and my height is going to come across. That gives me the shape of the pyramid in view. Done. Now I've got my points and lines 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I just darken them in to show the sections on the roof. So those lines are visible. So again, line 3 in elevation is line 3 here. Line 2 and 4, 2 and 4 are here and here. And then the points on the bottom, point 1 and point 5. And then it's just a matter of, I'm going to bring each of those over and up into my end view. So I'll start off and say, for example, with point 3 in the middle, just because it's the center. 3 comes across and up. I'll take my line 3 across to hit it. That's where we get 3. Number 2 comes across and up. And again, I'll bring the height across. Now I don't actually technically need to do this, or I shouldn't technically need to do it, because it hits on the edge of the pyramid, but I'll do it anyway. 2. 4 will be the opposite side. So as I take the 4, height the 4 across, bring 4 up from the plan. That's where 4 is. And then 1 and 5 the same. 5 I bring them across and up. Here's point 5. 1 comes across and up, and there's point 1 because they were on the ground in elevation. They're going to be on the ground in end elevation. That gives me the true shape of the canopy. That is my elevation plan and end view done. Now I've just used a little bit of colour to make sense of what you're looking at in the elevation plan and end view. So our very top sections of the roof in blue are either side here, and you can see they look like edges in the end view. Then either side, the red is the front and back surface, the lower surfaces, and they'll be represented there as edges in the end view.